Artificial intelligence is changing the world faster than almost any technology in human history. Every day, millions of people ask questions to chatbots, generate images with a few words, and use algorithms without even realizing it. AI writes emails. AI creates videos. AI helps doctors. AI recommends what we should watch, buy, and sometimes even think. To many people, it feels like magic, a machine that could do almost anything. But what if I told you that this incredible technology has a hidden side? A side that most people never see. A side that is already changing our jobs, our society, our environment, and even our understanding of reality itself. This is not a story about evil robots taking over the world. This is something much more real and much more dangerous, because the invisible damage of artificial intelligence is already happening. Right now, behind every answer generated by an AI system, there are hidden costs, invisible workers, massive energy consumption, the spread of misinformation, the loss of human skills, and the concentration of unprecedented power in the hands of a few companies. The question is no longer, can machines become intelligent? The real question is, what is this intelligence costing us? Tonight, we're going behind the scenes of the AI revolution to discover the invisible damage of artificial intelligence. The dream of creating intelligent machines is older than computers themselves. For centuries, humans imagined mechanical beings capable of thinking and acting on their own. But modern artificial intelligence truly began in the middle of the 20th century. In 1950, British mathematician Alan Turing asked a simple but revolutionary question: can machines think? At the time, the idea sounded almost impossible. Computers filled entire rooms and had less computing power than today's smartphones. But Turing believed that one day machines could imitate human intelligence. He even designed a famous experiment called the Turing test. If a person could have a conversation with a machine without realizing it was a machine, perhaps that machine could be considered intelligent. Just 6 years later, in 1956, a group of scientists met at Dartmouth College in the United States. During that conference, researcher John McCarthy introduced a new term: artificial intelligence. The scientists were incredibly optimistic. Some believed that human-level intelligence was only 20 years away. But reality had other plans. Computers were slow, data was scarce, and the technology simply wasn't ready. The dream of intelligent machines entered what historians now call the AI winter. Funding disappeared. Research slowed down. Many people thought artificial intelligence had failed. But the dream never died, because one thing was changing rapidly. The world was beginning to create data. A lot of data, and data would become the fuel of the AI revolution. The rise of the internet changed everything. Suddenly, humanity was producing information on an unimaginable scale. Photos, videos, books, websites, emails, social media posts, and every piece of information became training material for machines. Scientists realized something important. Instead of programming every rule manually, what if computers could learn patterns from data? This idea became known as machine learning. Then came deep learning, artificial neural networks inspired by the human brain, systems capable of analyzing enormous amounts of information. And the results were extraordinary. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov. In 2016, AlphaGo defeated the world champion of Go, one of the most complex games ever created. And in 2022, everything changed again. Generative AI arrived. For the first time, millions of ordinary people could talk directly with an intelligent machine. The world was amazed. But behind the excitement, another story was unfolding. A story almost nobody was paying attention to. Because while artificial intelligence was becoming smarter, its hidden costs were becoming bigger. Much bigger. And the first invisible damage was not technological at all. It was human. When people think about artificial intelligence, they imagine giant supercomputers, powerful algorithms, and machines learning by themselves. But there is a secret that the AI industry rarely talks about. artificial intelligence is not completely artificial. Behind every intelligent system, there are millions of human beings. Invisible workers. People you will probably never see. People who are helping train the machines of the future. Every time an AI recognizes a cat in a picture, someone had to label thousands of images of cats. Every time an AI understands a sentence, someone had to organize and classify enormous amounts of text. Every time a chatbot refuses to generate violent content, someone had to teach it what violence looks like. And sometimes that job can be horrifying. Some workers spend entire days reviewing graphic images, hate speech, child exploitation material, terrorist propaganda, and extreme violence. Their mission is simple: teach the machine what should never be shown. But the psychological cost can be enormous. Former content moderators have reported anxiety, depression, insomnia, and symptoms similar to post-traumatic stress disorder. And many of these workers are paid only a fraction of what engineers in Silicon Valley earn. The technology may be revolutionary, but its foundations are deeply human and often deeply unequal. The AI revolution depends on an invisible global workforce that most users don't even know exists. The irony is extraordinary. The world's most advanced technology still depends on some of the least visible workers on Earth. Artificial intelligence may seem automated, but behind the machine, there are millions of human hands and millions of human eyes. For years, people believed that automation would replace only repetitive jobs. Factory workers, cashiers, assembly lines. But artificial intelligence changed the equation. For the first time in history, machines began performing creative work. Writing, drawing, coding, editing, composing music, creating videos. The jobs that many believed were safe suddenly became vulnerable. This doesn't mean that millions of jobs will disappear overnight. The damage is much more subtle, and that's exactly why it is dangerous. A freelance designer may lose half of their clients. A translator may receive fewer projects. A junior programmer may struggle to find a first job. A copywriter may suddenly compete with software that can generate articles in seconds. The impact doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. A reduction in opportunities, a decrease in salaries, more competition, more uncertainty. Entire industries are being transformed, and many workers are discovering that they are competing not only with other people, but with machines. Some experts believe artificial intelligence will create new jobs. History suggests they may be right, but transitions are never painless. When technology changes faster than society can adapt, people are left behind. And the invisible damage isn't only economic, it's psychological. For many people, work is more than income. Work gives meaning, identity, purpose. And when people begin to feel replaceable, society itself begins to change. The fear of being replaced by a machine is becoming one of the defining anxieties of our time. And whether that fear becomes reality or not, it is already changing human behavior. One of the biggest myths about artificial intelligence is that machines are objective, that algorithms are somehow free from human prejudice. The truth is exactly the opposite. Artificial intelligence learns from human data, and human data is full of imperfections, biases, mistakes, discrimination, historical inequalities. If an AI system is trained on biased information, it can reproduce those biases at incredible speed and scale. Imagine teaching a child using only one perspective of the world. The child's understanding would be incomplete. The same thing happens with machines. Several AI systems have already shown unexpected biases. Some facial recognition technologies have made more mistakes when identifying women and people with darker skin tones. Some hiring algorithms favored male candidates because they learned from historical company data dominated by men. Some healthcare systems underestimated risks for certain communities because the training data was incomplete. The machine wasn't intentionally discriminatory. It simply learned patterns from the information it received. This creates a serious problem because people often trust algorithms more than they trust other humans. If a machine makes a decision, Many assume that decision must be objective, but algorithms can inherit our flaws, and sometimes they can amplify them. A human may discriminate against one person. An algorithm can discriminate against millions. And because many AI systems operate like black boxes, understanding exactly why a decision was made can become extremely difficult. The invisible damage of AI is not only what machines do, it's also the mistakes they repeat, at a scale humanity has never seen before. Imagine being denied a job, or a bank loan, or medical treatment, and when you ask why, nobody can give you an answer. Not the company, not the engineers, not even the machine itself. This is one of the greatest challenges of modern artificial intelligence. It's called the black box problem. Today's most advanced AI systems contain billions, sometimes trillions, of parameters. They can recognize patterns that are simply too complex for humans to fully understand. The problem is that we often know what goes into the machine, and we know the answer that comes out, but we don't always know exactly how the machine reached that decision. This becomes extremely dangerous when AI is used in critical areas of society: healthcare, banking, education, hiring, law enforcement, and even military systems. Imagine an algorithm recommending prison sentences, or deciding who receives medical attention first, or determining whether someone qualifies for a mortgage. If the system makes a mistake, who is responsible? More importantly, how do we correct a mistake that we don't fully understand? This is not a problem for the future. It's a problem that already exists. As artificial intelligence becomes more powerful, we may increasingly depend on systems that even their creators cannot completely explain. And placing blind trust in something we don't fully understand has never ended well in human history. For thousands of years, seeing was believing. A photograph was evidence. A video was proof. A voice recording meant that someone had actually spoken. Artificial intelligence is changing all of that. Today, AI can create videos of people saying things they never said. It can clone voices with astonishing accuracy. It can generate realistic photographs of people who don't even exist. It can create fake news articles in seconds. And every year, the technology becomes better, cheaper, and easier to use. This may be one of the most dangerous, invisible damages of artificial intelligence. Not because AI creates lies. Humans have always lied. The danger is that AI can create lies at an industrial scale. Imagine receiving a video of a world leader declaring war. Imagine hearing the voice of a family member asking for money. Imagine a fake video appearing just days before an election. In a world where almost anything can be fabricated, something extraordinary begins to happen. People stop trusting what they see. They stop trusting what they hear. And eventually, they stop trusting reality itself. This phenomenon already has a name: the liar's dividend. If any video can be fake, then even real evidence can be dismissed as artificial. The result is a society where truth becomes increasingly difficult to prove. And without trust, democracies struggle. Institutions weaken, and misinformation spreads faster than ever before. The invisible damage of AI may not be the creation of false information. It may be the destruction of our confidence in what is true. There's a theory that sounds like science fiction, but every year, it seems a little less impossible. It's called the dead internet theory. The theory suggests that much of the internet is gradually becoming dominated by artificial activity. Bots interacting with other bots, articles generated by algorithms, videos created by machines, comments written automatically, fake accounts pretending to be real people. Whether the theory is entirely true or not is almost irrelevant, because something undeniable is happening. Artificial intelligence is producing an unimaginable amount of content. Every day, millions of AI-generated images, articles, videos, and social media posts appear online. The internet is becoming increasingly synthetic, and this creates another problem. Artificial intelligence systems are now beginning to learn from content generated by previous AI systems. In other words, machines are increasingly learning from other machines. Some researchers fear this could eventually lead to something called model collapse. a gradual decline in the quality and diversity of information. Imagine making a photocopy of a photocopy, then making another copy, and another. Eventually, the image becomes distorted. Some experts worry the same thing could happen to information itself. The internet was once a place where humans shared knowledge with other humans. Now, we may be entering an era where machines create content primarily for other machines. And if that happens, something extraordinary could occur. The internet may not die, but it could become something completely different from what it was originally meant to be. The invisible damage of artificial intelligence is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, slow, almost impossible to notice, until one day we realize that the world around us has changed completely, and we never saw it happening. When most people think about artificial intelligence, they imagine something that exists in the cloud, something invisible, something almost magical. But the truth is very different. The cloud is not a cloud. It's a gigantic physical infrastructure. Millions of processors, thousands of servers, huge buildings filled with computers running 24 hours a day. Every question you ask an AI requires electricity. Every image generated by AI consumes computing power. Every video created by AI requires enormous amounts of data processing. And all of that processing happens inside data centers. Some of the largest data centers on Earth consume as much electricity as small cities. And that's just the beginning. Computers that powerfully generate enormous amounts of heat. To prevent overheating, they need massive cooling systems. Many of these systems use millions of liters of water every year. A single AI request may seem insignificant, but billions of requests every day create a massive environmental footprint. As artificial intelligence becomes more popular, the demand for computing power continues to explode. New data centers are being built around the world. More electricity is needed. More resources are consumed. More infrastructure is required. The invisible damage of AI isn't only digital. It's physical. Every conversation with an AI leaves a tiny footprint. And when billions of people use these systems every day, those tiny footprints become enormous. The future of artificial intelligence may depend not only on innovation, but also on whether our planet can support the growing demand for computational power. Artificial intelligence is often described as a tool for everyone. But there's another reality that few people talk about. Building advanced AI systems is incredibly expensive. Training large models can cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Only a handful of companies have the money, computing power, and infrastructure to compete. As a result, an extraordinary amount of power is becoming concentrated in the hands of a few organizations. A small number of companies increasingly influence how information is delivered, how algorithms are designed, what content is recommended, what technologies become available, and even what the future of artificial intelligence will look like. Never before in history has so much computational power been controlled by so few. The companies building these systems are not governments. They are private corporations, and that raises difficult questions. Who decides how AI should behave? Who decides what information is acceptable? Who controls the algorithms that increasingly shape our lives? The invisible damage of artificial intelligence may not be that machines become too powerful. It may be that a small number of people gain unprecedented influence over billions of others. Power has always shaped history. Artificial intelligence may become one of the greatest concentrations of power humanity has ever seen. Every great technology changes human behavior. The calculator changed mathematics. GPS changed navigation. The internet changed memory. Artificial intelligence may change something even deeper, the way we think. Already, millions of people ask AI to write emails, summarize books, generate ideas, answer questions, create presentations, and even make decisions. There is nothing wrong with using powerful tools, but every tool comes with a trade-off. The more a machine does for us, the less we practice doing it ourselves. What happens if we stop writing? What happens if we stop researching? What happens if we stop solving problems on our own? Human intelligence is like a muscle. Skills improve when we use them, and they weaken when we don't. The invisible damage of AI may not be unemployment. It may be dependency, a future where people gradually lose certain abilities because machines perform those tasks for them. Technology has always extended human capabilities, but if we become completely dependent on intelligent systems, we may eventually forget how to function without them. The question is not whether artificial intelligence will become smarter. The question is whether humans will continue developing alongside it. Artificial intelligence could become one of humanity's greatest achievements. It could help cure diseases, accelerate scientific discoveries, transform education, improve productivity, and solve problems that seem impossible today. But every powerful technology has consequences. The invisible damage of artificial intelligence isn't a robot apocalypse. It's not an army of machines taking over the world. It's something much quieter, much slower, and perhaps much more dangerous. A gradual transformation of society. A world where truth becomes harder to recognize. Where human skills slowly fade. Where invisible workers pay the psychological cost of technological progress. Where few companies control extraordinary power. And where the environmental price of intelligence continues to grow. The future of AI has not been written yet. The decisions we make today will shape the relationship between humanity and intelligent machines for generations. Artificial intelligence itself is not good, and it is not evil. It is a tool that reflects the values of the people who build it and the society that chooses how to use it. Because in the end, the greatest question is not, can machines become intelligent? The greatest question is, can humanity become wise enough to use that intelligence responsibly? And now I want to hear from you. What do you think is the biggest invisible damage of artificial intelligence? Do you believe AI will improve humanity's future? Or do you think we're creating problems we don't fully understand? Write your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell, because the story of artificial intelligence is only beginning, and the future that it creates will belong to all of us.